My husband let his mother ruin our marriage for 9 years. Now I'm ready to walk away for good. I know we all like to talk about awful MILs that hate their daughters-in-law or try to ruin the marriages, but I want to talk about my own MIL and sing her praises so that everyone can appreciate her. I, 28F, and my husband, 29M, got married 7 years ago this month. It has been a hard marriage, struggling through mental health crises and financial strife and basically putting every single, for better or for worse, through the ringer to stay together. But we've made it work, partially due to my loving MIL. Less than a month before our second wedding anniversary, we were in a pretty bad car accident. We were waiting to turn left on a residential street, just off of a very busy road that was a direct exit from the highway. We were at a complete stop when someone turned off of the highway road, going about 40+ mph, and ran right into us. Fortunately, no one was in front of us to run into, but the back end of the car was crumpled beyond saving. It was so bad that the airbags deployed and both my husband and I were violently shoved forward, and a flashlight I didn't know I had been sitting on struck the very bottom of my back. We were immediately taken to the hospital by a friend of ours and got checked out, but I was in very severe shock because I already had extreme car anxiety before this happened. At first, things didn't seem like I had been hurt too badly. I had scoliosis I had been treated for since I was a teen, and at 19 I slipped in the shower and caused trauma to one of my vertebrae, so the pains I was feeling in my spine just seemed like those old normal pains. Aches, some muscle spasms, radiating pain. Things I was used to, and just a bit of physical therapy stretching would sort out. But after a couple months it became clear that no, this was far, far worse. My condition rapidly deteriorated, but this was around April 2020, so you can probably guess what certain global panini was keeping me from really getting seen. The dull, aching pains turned into sharp, aggressive ones that would radiate through my legs. The muscle spasms went from a few times in a week to several times an hour. I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk without someone holding me up. Even laying down, I would uncontrollable full-body twitches that would cause me to roll around wildly. I would get stuck on the floor of most rooms I was in, my muscles so tight I couldn't even crawl. The accident had shifted my spine in a way that was literally constantly pinching my nerves, so nothing could fully stop the pain. During all of this, my husband was in school full-time rushing to get his degree. I had been the sole provider for us both, but obviously I couldn't work my manual labor job anymore. Even if I had a remote job, I couldn't sit to work on a computer. And my husband couldn't be home all the time to care for me either. We went from financially stable and fully independent to literally crippled, unemployed, and no longer able to make rent. The stress also put me in the mental hospital for a bit, like I said, really testing for better or for worse. And to top all of it off, the other driver had no insurance to pay for anything, and our insurance decided that this was just an advancement of my previous spinal issues and refused to pay for my damages or lost wages. It took 3 years for me to get enough treatment to let me walk on my own again. This is where my angel of a MIL came through. She saw what was happening to us, and when our lease was about to run out on us, she moved around her entire house. She cleared out space in the office for one of her daughter's rooms. She agreed to it as she liked the extra privacy on the other side of the house. Moved her and her now ex-husband's, we'll come back to that, bedroom into that daughter's old room, and gave us the master bedroom, so we could fit as much of our furniture as possible in there to avoid paying for storage we couldn't afford. For all 3 years that I was fully bedridden, she cooked for me, made sure I had water and medications within reach at all times, brought me ice packs to soothe the pain. She did our laundry for us, even folding it because my arms shook too much. She drove me to and from the doctor's offices and hospitals for treatment. She helped me off the bathroom floor, brushed my hair, came and rubbed my back when I woke up screaming in pain in the middle of the night. She would walk me from room to room when I needed it to make sure I didn't fall, and when I did fall she would help me right back into bed. All of this while she herself was working from home and raising her other 2 daughters, one of them still a minor. Now, to keep with the in-laws from Helltag, my FIL was not so helpful. In fact, when moving in with them came up, he suggested they charge us $400 a month for rent to let us live there. He had a manual labor job, so he wasn't home until evening most of the time. He didn't really see most of the pain I was in, because one of the medications I was taking would cause me to sleep for 14 hours at a time when the pain didn't wake me up. But I also don't remember him really helping me off the floor or checking in on me unless he was walking through the room anyway, and never once did he check on why I was screaming in pain in the middle of the night. And somewhere in all of that he found a little online affair to occupy himself with. He didn't help with the cooking or cleaning much around the house either. So needless to say, he was the worst in-law here. But 5 years after the accident, my husband is graduated, got a nice corporate job, I'm mostly physically capable of independence again, and we've moved back out. Thanks to my MIL's support, we now have our own place with 2 cats. And we're saving up for the down payment on a house, so we can start having our own babies. And hopefully one day I can follow her example of what a good MIL should be. Next story, what should I do? My 47F husband 54M have been together for 23 years, married for 15. We have twin 15-years-old boys. They were born right before he got deployed. His mother has been a thorn in my side for many years. She will not recognize that he's a grown man or that he's married. She has done everything for him and bailed him out when he was financially unstable. Keep in mind this was before we got together. I have been helping him learn how to do things on his own. I also have been taking care of the house, kids, finances, appointments, make sure the boys have their medicines, laundry, cooking, most of the cleaning, and work full-time as well. Now he works a 6 to 2 shift 5 days a week. I work 12-hour overnight shifts 3 days a week. He comes home and either soaks in the tub or goes out to the garage to have a cigar almost every day except my work days. He's supposed to make dinner on my work nights, but lately he's been held over and doesn't get home in time to make it before I have to leave. His mother has been living with us, which I told him before she moved in, that it would be a mistake, for 9 years now. She was only supposed to be with us temporarily. When we bought our house, she was supposed to find a place of her own. It's why we only got a 3-bedroom house. Now while she's been with us, she has emotionally and once physically abused our kids. When I found out about the physical, I lost it. I admit I should have handled it better, but I did tell her that if she ever laid another finger in my kids, I would bury her. Granted, I was pissed and shouldn't have said that. However, she has also repeatedly interjected into conversations that don't pertain to her, projects we try to do with our boys, our finances, which she has no clue what they are, and even our marriage. The last instance was when she tried to tell me how to be better wife, right in front of him. And he said nothing. He's given her 2 deadlines to find another place, and when she didn't move out, he didn't follow through. She cares nothing about me, and will not listen when I try to help her find a place. He says she brags to everyone about me. Yet she treats me like I'm less than nothing at home. She will not adhere to our rules and constantly tries to impose her own as if the house is hers. I recently wrote him a letter explaining exactly how I felt, and that if she's not gone by the summer, I would take the boys and leave. He has now gone for a ride and has been texting me to talk about some things when he knows I don't like to talk that way. So here's my dilemma and where I need advice. He has taken tomorrow off from work, so we can talk. What should I do? Should I stick to what I said in the letter, or should I just write this marriage off until she's no longer in the picture? Commenter, you made the threat, and now you have to follow through. And mean it. And who knows, this might be the fire you lit under his ass, or your marriage will be over. Either way, it's better than where it is now, because you can't go on like this. Who knows, you may find that you don't miss living with him. And stop doing stuff for her around the house. Treat her like shit, because honestly at this point, what do you have to lose? You're the bad guy no matter what. You might as well enjoy your peace. Opie reply. Oh, I stopped doing things for her a while back ago. I basically ignore her most of the time and only say anything when she starts to try to impose her will on my kids. Now he's been texting me trying to discuss it when he knows, and I stated in the letter, that I would wait until he processed it to talk in person. It's a mess right now and I don't even know if he'll come home tonight.